Hey, baby, you look good.
Thank you.
With your, your red and your blue.
Thank you.
I love it. With your flower thing.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
All right.
So today we're going to be talking about advice for new couples. And I wanted to share with you 4 practical tips for couples who are either looking to get married or young couples who have already been married. So the first thing I want to say is put God first in everything that you do.
There's they said in Genesis chapter 2, so the man, when he choose his wife, what he do, he should leave his parents and the two become one. So therefore, you make sure your parents are not involved in your marriage.
Tip number 2, outline a plan for your marriage. Understanding that there are no 2 marriages that are alike, but I believe that everyone should have a plan. What do you want your marriage to look like? What do you want to plan out for your family? Everything that you're doing, you want to make sure that you have a plan. Again, it doesn't mean that life is not going to happen and that things are not going to, take place, but make a plan for what you want your marriage to look like.
Because it's a very important, because in the beginning of your marriage, situation gonna come. Mm-hmm. The life never been easy, never easy. So I never heard in my experience that a couple have I call it a beautiful life, a situation come. So, but therefore your love, it's conquer everything. Because if you love your wife or you love your man, guess what it is? You're gonna endure every situation.
Absolutely.
That's the best thing, because the thing is, once you put God first, that's the best thing.
The other tip that I would do, or another tip that I would say, would be alignment. Make sure that you and your spouse are aligned. You have common goals and that you're working toward those goals together. You can't be pulling in opposite directions, but whatever you're doing, you want to make sure that you're doing it together. So I would say make sure that you and your spouse or your potential spouse are aligned together in what you want out of life.
And then the best thing too, what you do when you just get married, what you do, you set the goal, but it's not your goal, it's our goal.
Right.
Once you sit down and set a goal for you and your spouse, guess what? Now we both have to have an objective where we want to be. So that's where we start working on it. But if it's just you, it's not gonna work.
Right. And alignment is finances. What do your finances look like? How do you manage your money? How do you plan the budget? How many children you want to have? You want to make sure that you and your spouse are in alignment together. When Nesly and I first got married, we decided that I would be the one that would manage the finances at home, that I would manage the budget, because he thought I did it better. And so that didn't make him any less of a spouse, any less of a husband. In order for that to happen, we both decided that, okay, you're better at this than I am. This works for us, but it doesn't work for every, and not work in every situation, in every case, but figure out what works for you. But just make sure that you and your spouse are in alignment.
And the thing is, once you married with somebody, you end up learning who that person is. Mm-hmm. And the characteristic of that person. So once you do that, so now you know who can do something better than the other. Mm-hmm. So once you find out that, then now you're just leaning to that objective.
That's working together. And the last tip that I would give is to set limitations in your marriage. Everyone does not have access. Correct. In your marriage and your relationship. Make sure that you're managing outside interferences, you're managing outside comments and people engaging in your relationship that probably should not be there. Whenever you become one, that means one. That means there's no outside of God. There should not be any interference in your marriage and your relationship.
Correct, because if you remember in the beginning, so I said that God just put you together, and then guess what? He makes sure that you understand he leave your parents. So that means leave everybody, not just
Yes.
your parents, everybody out of your marriage. Because the thing is, he put you, you become one. So that means the way I feel, she should feel it. The way she feel, I should feel it. So that's where we come and work together, because it's a progressive thing. We'll never finish learning.
Absolutely.
So we are learning each other. So therefore, it doesn't matter how long you've been married, you continue learning each other.
It's a growing process,
Yes.
right? We didn't get where we are today without having issues or some things that we learn from. So we're
Correct.
constantly learning, you're constantly evolving. So I would encourage, anyone who's looking to get married, who's thinking about getting married, seek godly counsel. I think that is so important.
True.
Seek godly counsel, get marriage counsel prior to marriage. That's just going to help you kind of sort through your goals. It's help you sort through what it means for you to be aligned with your potential spouse or your current spouse, and what those limitations in your marriage will be.
And now, this is the best thing. I know you're seeking counseling, but there's a difference. Because if you seek God counseling, that's the best thing to happen in your marriage. Because other people are going to tell you exactly the routine of a marriage. But when you seek God in your marriage, guess what?
Absolutely.
Because God is the head of everything.
Everything.
And therefore, everything that you look for to get God done for you, you're going to look up and seek God for anything.
So we hope that these tips are helpful for you. Please comment down below what tips that you found helpful when you were either
Correct.
looking to get married or after you got married, that you thought was helpful for you in your marriage that you might be continuing to use. What advice would you use, or what advice would you give? So we thank you for watching, and happy merging.
Happy merging.